Good morning, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to start here in about 30 seconds. I hope you're doing well today. It is Thursday. I can't believe summer is this far along, Susan.
Yeah,
Oh, my
right.
good friend, I can't wait to talk to you about your background. And summer, you're back from your summer house right now in Massachusetts, right?
Yes.
Okay. You are just the go-to. I love you to death. This is Susan Miller. We go back to 1991 when we met, and I just cherished her wisdom. I cherished her integrity, her marriage, her family, and her business prowess, which is why I've invited her today onto this call to have her talk from the standpoint of service-based businesses, in particular, those businesses where the customers come to you, you develop a trust, they love you. Susan is in those shoes from her past. Susan became in the salon industry back in the 80s and morphed into a businesswoman who opened her own skincare line, launched it, produced it, launched it. And her heart is really for those women who stand behind a chair or who own a small business, because she found out the easy way through our industry that you really could create leveraged income, recurring income, not just exchanging that time for money. So, Susan Miller, I would love to introduce you and fill out what I left out.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, Jeanette. And yeah, we've known each other, guys, for about 30 plus years, which is
Mhm.
wild these days, and from an original company that we were with. But, I did start off my life as a hairdresser, and I still love this industry so much because I love the artistic side of it, the creative side of it, right? The community and the relationship side that you get to build. And I found myself in my early 20s. I always believed that whatever you do, you should do it to your best of your ability. And so I went to all the shows. I learned the most I could from cutting to color. I worked in the intercoiffure, which were your higher end salons. And one of them was called John Delaria's up here in the Boston area, which was very big in the 70s and 80s. And so I learned everything I could about that. And then I had moved to South Florida from Boston, and I was working in a salon in Boca Raton, and I had an opportunity to learn the makeup industry. And I worked with some of the famous people that came into the area for the Parker Place show place there in Fort Lauderdale. I loved everything about it. And then I was around 25, and I was introduced to an idea of starting my own cosmetic company first. And, the thing I really learned, and I only knew this in hindsight, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it when I was doing it, but that this active income of exchanging time for money, it was great. I could make great money, but if I didn't work, I didn't make it. And that was always a concern for me because I was young. I wanted to start a family, sometime in the near future. I was getting married at 25. And so that was something I had in my crosshairs, right, of what I'd like to do. And so I decided to start my own cosmetic company. And what I do is I rent space in a very high-end salon. And it was very successful. I ended up having employees, and I taught them how to do makeup. And the way you moved out of active income and into a recurring income was the ability to have a product that's being sold over and over and over again. Difference was is when you own your own business, everything stops with you, right? And so it was a significant burden of time, I would say, that if I wasn't there, things weren't going to happen, right?
And Susan, you told me you had to order the product besides producing, making, marketing, packaging. You had to order the product, stock the inventory. I mean, that right there is craziness. I
Well,
mean, that's money out of your
it's a lot of
pocket.
money. It's a lot of money you sit on. You also have shrinkage because, and then there's the other part of it. What you don't sell, you eat, right? And so it eats into all of your profits. And when you own the company, you don't
Absolutely.
sell every single thing you have. So you're always sitting on that. And so, even though I loved it, there was this interest or desire for something more. I just didn't know what that more was,
Mhm.
right? Until somebody introduced me to this industry. And I wasn't really open at first, to be very honest with you. I think I
Oh, I'm gonna have to mute me myself right now.
okay, I hear a baby in the background.
Yes,
I
I'm at
get
my I'm at
that.
my granddaughter's house taking care of a 3-year-old and a 1-month-old. Well, mama heals. So
Yeah, absolutely.
keep
Listen,
going.
that's one of the beautiful things. See, I am so passionate about specifically helping women build this financial wall around themselves to where, so many of us at that time, it's so interesting you having your grandbaby, but it was me at 27, 28 wanting to start a family and not able to figure out how I could not work 60 hours a week, which is what it took to be in the salon industry. It was the nights and weekends. It was grueling. I mean, you're on your feet all the time and you had to be where your clients were. And that was in the salon all the
And
time.
isn't repetitive injury so prevalent?
Well, that's
And
another thing,
yeah,
in hindsight, now that I'm in my 60s, that, I have arthritis today that
mhm,
I probably could not be doing hair. No, I could not probably, I couldn't be doing hair
mhm,
today because of it. It's in my hands and in my
mhm,
feet, stuff like that. But I know that I had carpal tunnel at one point. I know people that were having rotary cuff surgery,
mhm.
anything that you're doing on a regular basis over and over again. So you have to have a plan B. I always say to everybody, listen, no matter what you do, if your only income source is active income, which means you're getting exchanging that time for that money, everyone should have a passive or recurring income stream that at least covers your operational expenses of your life. So when life happens, and it always does, you know that you're okay. You're not just depending on
Absolutely.
your savings account. And so, how do you do that?
So, Susan, when we met, I was my father was an entrepreneur. My
Mhm,
entire family, generations down, were blue collar or teachers, honestly.
mhm,
And I watched my dad go with his insurance business from just scraping it to recurring income from the premiums, monthly or yearly. And our lifestyle changed as his business grew. And so at age 9, I sat with my dad and I kind of learned what he was doing. And he said, Jeanette, if you ever want freedom, you need to get into a business that creates recurring or residual income. And at that time, insurance was not my bag.
right.
So I thankfully was introduced to the industry of recurring income in 1990 from a girlfriend who reached out, which
Yeah.
is
And
that's
I
how
had
you got
a
into
gentleman in the salon industry that, JP, who
yeah,
I adore here 30 something years later, he's still one of my closest friends in life. And he wanted to do this. And I'm like, he asked me to come to a meeting and see what I thought. And I'm like, because I already said I wasn't interested because I had it. Why would I sell somebody else's product
right.
when I had my own? Right. And I didn't understand the model. And to be honest with you, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this is like a Mary Kay kind of thing where I have
Mhm.
to go to people's homes and do a home party plan. And I'm not knocking that because I know that that helped a lot of women at the right
Mhm.
time in their
Mhm.
lives. And I'm all for whatever works, people. Whatever works for you,
Absolutely.
I'm your champion of that. But
Yes.
that wasn't what I wanted to do because I already had this captive audience that was
Sure.
receptive to buy. I wasn't looking for the clientele. What I was looking for was the sales force, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that I could leverage myself more. And so I went to this event, and it was quite eye-opening because there were so many people there, 350 people. Half of them were men. It's a skincare company. 2 men are presenting. I'm like, "What am I missing here?" Like, there's something odd about this. Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand. And when they were presenting a financial model around
Mhm.
very high-end, highly consumable products
Mhm.
that were being, endorsed by so many people that were there, right? That had personal testimonies, which are the most powerful
Absolutely.
way to endorse anything, right?
Absolutely.
The whole salon industry is built on word of mouth. Let's just be honest. We can advertise all we want, but the way that we build our customer base is because somebody saw someone's haircut or style or makeup
Exactly.
or a facialist or something, and they
Yep.
refer them. So we are in the referral business and we are in that building the relationship and rapport with our clientele.
Mhm. And that's basically all we do in this industry. of I call virtual entrepreneurship is
Okay.
really, it's not about putting products on my shelf or in my garage. It's about the company doing all that, our brand partner, who does 80% of the heavy lifting.
They do.
Invest.
Actually, they do it all. So
Yeah.
what we do, so the brilliance of this, well, let me bring you back to where I was then, right? So I'm at that meeting and the gentleman says he's making $50,000 a month income. And I preface that by saying I didn't believe him. I was
Right.
saying, wait, seriously? And this is my industry. I was doing really well and I wasn't making that kind of money.
Yeah.
And these are two guys who I could tell were from Boston when they opened their mouth and started talking. One was in
Mhm.
finance, one was in real estate. Why are you doing this? And
Right.
so I walked up to them afterwards and I said, first of all, can you prove you're making that money? And he said, yes. And he did. And I said, the second question out of my mouth was, can you show me exactly how you did it?
Mhm.
And he said, I can, but you'd have to be a really good student and you'd have to be open to a different way of earning your income.
Mhm.
And this, guys, remember, this is 35 years ago for
Right.
me. This
Right.
is before the internet. This is before influencer marketing was a thing. This is before drop shipping was even
This
available.
is
This is
before
before the
cell
internet.
phones.
We didn't even have three-way calling back then,
We
guys.
didn't
I'm
have
telling
cell
you, this was
phones.
a belly to belly. The cell phones would look like, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Towers.
So yeah, towers. And so I laugh at this because I've been able to have a front row seat of observing an industry whose time has come. And because today this industry has turned into the 21st century turnkey e-commerce solution for any business that wants to participate. And so let me give you some facts. Is the salon industry post COVID has lost 25% of their retail sales. And it's because at the same time there was this convergence of trends that was taking place. It was COVID just accelerated these trends. They were happening anyways, but when people got home and you couldn't go to stores to get what you needed, guess what? Amazon and online buying, purchasing became the norm, right?
Yeah.
And now what do we see? We see all of these stores closing down. And it might seem sad, but it's just a redirection of how you're going to market. And any
Mhm.
industry worth its weight, it eventually evolves, right? And so
Mhm.
there's always going to be a space for retail industry. People want to go in and shop and what have you, but a good portion of it is convenience. People
Brick
want
and mortars are
convenience.
closing their doors
Yeah,
so fast. In
they
my
are.
city, anyway.
And
It's
so, I watched the salon industry go from where they used to have all their own product line, and then they realize
like
of the burden of that and that their expertise is in being the hairdresser or the technician, and
mhm.
that they should partner with the Avedas or the Paul Mitchells or the Baker
Mhm.
companies. Why did you
Mhm.
think that they leveraged the salon industry? Why do you think that these major companies would pay big money for the salon industry to carry their product?
Right.
At first, you used to have to buy the product and inventory it. And then you were in the same situation when you were left with extra that ate into your profit, right? So
Mhm.
then the salon industry got smart and said, oh, wait, we have all the power here. We have the captive audience. We have the relationship and the rapport with our clientele that
Mhm.
we endorse to them.
In your local area too. I mean, you have a
That's right.
city or a state or people will come for miles if there's something of goodness for
That's
them.
right. And the thing is that what we did is we flipped it and we said to these major companies, no, 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 you can put your inventory here, but we're not buying it in advance. We'll just sell what you put in here.
Yeah.
No different than what you see in the grocery stores. The grocery stores don't buy that inventory
Right.
anymore. They literally allow these companies to put their products in the store, right? And so that
Mhm.
was another area of how it worked. But then you found out in today's market, because of the e-commerce model, you're actually
Mhm.
competing with these major companies too, because you can buy them anywhere, not just in the salons and
Exactly.
online. And
Mhm.
so now what was happening post COVID or the pandemic, where it was very clear people were purchasing and redirecting their spending to an e-commerce model, that here I am today saying to any salon industry, any med spa industry, any uh, industry that has a customer base, that is
Yoga
specifically,
studios,
yeah,
gyms, anything that is
a
person to
customer
person,
base,
belly to
right?
belly.
And
Some
especially if it's the beauty industry,
yes,
okay,
yes.
or weight loss or anything like that
Mhm.
industry. These are products that are highly consumable, highly emotional, result oriented,
Mhm.
backed by decades of science,
Oh,
that peer-reviewed study, over 20 of them that have been published. That means that we're not just saying it, the medical world is saying it,
mhm.
that what we do works. And at the end of the day, what you don't have to touch the product. That's the part
Right,
that I love the most, because
right.
that was the biggest burden for me owning my own cosmetic company, was the operations. Okay.
And
And
you
so,
don't deal with the returns either.
nope.
The company does all that.
And
So
basically what you are able to do is, as long as you're a consumer of these products and you can share them with your customers, you can literally have this e-commerce platform that's over a $25 million website, front facing for the customer, where they can go on and see the product and the videos and all this. And then the back office is where you track all of your consumer sales. And the beautiful part of this, hear me when I say this, it doesn't end in your store.
no.
Okay. Because if somebody leaves your store, like I came into your salon and you did my hair and I bought some product from you and it was drop shipped to my house because I saw a QR code and you just told me to click on it and it loaded a cart for me of what you're recommending. And I just purchased it. I don't even have to go to the front desk to buy it and
Mhm,
have to put it in my car or wait for it to get home with it. It comes to my house, drop shipped.
mhm.
And my sister across the country says, "Your hair looks great. What have you been doing?" I'm like, "Hey, look, I'm going to send you a code. Go ahead, you can get it at a discount from my salon." So now all of a sudden you're compounding out your customer base based on referrals that aren't within your brick and mortar. And now you're in the 21st century e-commerce space.
And you aren't competing with other salons outside of your state. And there's a lot of salon owners, not just stylists who are independent, they are desperate for money to cover overhead. I mean,
So I've always said to them, look, I respect the fact that your what you do for a living is your priority. Owning the salon is your priority.
mhm,
If I would you, if I could show you how to cover all the operational expenses of running that salon, or hairdresser paying for that chair,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Where your profits of what you do for a living, a pure profit, with
mhm,
this secondary income stream that is just leveraging this captive audience you already have, that is already receptive to buy. They're there for the purpose of
mhm,
you doing their hair and or skin or whatever you're doing
mhm.
and recommending to them. And then you give them a QR code and they purchase it from there. The company handles the marketing and all that for you. They even offer you all kinds of
Mm,
pre-designed online marketing stuff that you could just put up
yes,
on your social media, because your job is to stay focused on your area of expertise.
yes.
And then you just strategically partner with a company that just wants to work in tandem with you. The difference of this and affiliate marketing, to be clear, you could be affiliate marketing here where you're just a one-off sale. But I've always had an aversion to that, because I feel like the company is just leveraging my network for that
Mhm.
one-time sale. And then they take all the reorders and I don't get anything from that.
Which is huge, Susan. I mean,
It's
that
huge.
is such a big point in this whole conversation
To be
because
clear,
you
it's
get
huge.
every time that customer that first purchased from you is forever aligned with your ID number, and whomever
They refer
reordered
to.
and whoever they share with, you know, women especially, we're chatty cats. If we love something,
Mhm.
I'm going to tell 10 friends. If I don't like something, bad experience, I'm going to tell 20 friends. Don't
Exactly.
touch this.
Word
Don't
of
use
mouth is
this.
a double-edged sword, no doubt.
Yep. Yep.
And the thing is that at the height of, and I've been with this company for 12 years, it has dramatically changed my quality of life. When I say
Mhm,
that, I have struggled with multiple health challenges over my adult life, many
mhm.
of them that dealt with gut issues and inflammation of the body and energy issues. And, I had tried everything before here. I mean, my before and after pictures are a little shocking.
It's
you know,
amazing that we
age
are in our
backwards.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
aging
we're the same
backwards. That's
age, and, I would never be able to do the things I do today without the dense nutrition that's in my body, the collagen, the marine collagen that we
mm,
started 3 years ago. I mean, I literally have aged
uh,
backwards with it, but more importantly, my joint, you've talked about with your knee as a former athlete, it has had a dramatic result on how I feel, and that's something you're gonna talk about regardless if you do the business or not of this.
right,
And so,
right.
but if you do align yourself with the company, you know, we've done over $200 million in sales in my personal company, with
Yeah.
my network of people who share, which is the smaller amount of those people. It's a smaller amount of people, but what we do is we show people how to open up wholesale accounts
Mhm.
We help them get a great result with the products through
Mhm.
education, support, what have you, recommendation. And it is with those results that people reorder. So
Yeah.
I would just like to say this. My husband has the number one podcast on Apple right now for the 8 ways to create recurring income. It's called The Family Business. And two of those ways are what we do today. One
Mhm.
of them being real estate, high risk, high reward, right? No one's saying you can't make money at real estate, but you have to be a certain person to be able to play in that space. Okay. Not everyone can. However, especially in our space, this area of we being the professional influencer, you build a consumer network with a highly recurring product, right? That you use on a daily basis that has a result attached to it, right?
Mhm.
And then you have a subscription base attached to that. Those
Mhm.
are two of the 8 ways to create recurring income. And if you build it big enough, it can become passive, meaning if it's that big and people are consuming it, that whether you're working or not, you can be getting paid. And so for me, given the opportunity of anyone that's interested, I teach them the financial model along with these amazing pick 2 or 3 or 4. You don't have to love all the products, pick a handful of them. So for the salon industry, I would say collagen. We have a
Collagen elixir, absolutely.
we have a hair revival product. It has a DHT blocker with the all natural banana extract that you stamen extract in it, which is unbelievable. The results are outstanding. It's only $50. It's a vitamin that you take. We're looking to bring in a hair care line shortly. And then we have another product called Bia. This alone, just for your
Oh,
hairdressers, every afternoon, I take mine in the morning and sometimes I have a half one in the afternoon because it has caffeine. It's a natural source of caffeine with yerba mate and green tea. It tastes amazing and it keeps the energy going. And your hairdressers are working nonstop. And the number one thing they're looking for is how to fast get a meal or how to fast get, they're looking for a coffee in the afternoon. If you can get your hairdressers or yourself to become the customer of these products, it's a natural extension of what we do. If you like
exactly
it,
right.
you share it. It's as simple as that.
And the only change they make at at their chair or in their studio is to have an ongoing video stream, a loop of, 2 or 3 videos that they want their clients to see. And they're short, 2, 3 minutes.
Well, the easiest way to do it is have one of the mirror talkers. If you know those in the salons, they're a clear thing you can put up on your mirror and it has a QR code and say, ask me about our product, ask me
Mm.
about our collagen, or ask me, and then they just go and take their phone and pops up a video for them right on their phone. And if not, you can have an iPad. But the thing is that as they're in the salon, there's this window of time that, of course, if they're getting services, color, or anything like that, there's this
Mhm.
dead time that they're there. And you have an opportunity to create a secondary income stream for yourself. And if you're not
Mhm.
doing it, I would just ask yourself, why?
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 Yeah.
It's a missed opportunity. You don't have to handle the product. You don't have to inventory the product. All you have to do is endorse the product and allow the product to do its work for yourself. Work with somebody like us who our job is to help you
Mhm.
have success in it. And so we're always looking for other networks that we can tap to help you grow your networks.
Yeah.
We benefit, you benefit, it's customer benefits. It's a win, win, win.
And Susan, you work with a lot of salons and
And
stylists and owners across the country.
yes, and yeah,
And it's actually not just a local, it's not just a United States, it's international. And we
it
are
is
open in 23 international countries. So
all throughout
somebody who knows somebody in Europe can
Europe.
tell their European friend about it, and boom, you've started a business in Europe.
How
Recurring.
interesting is that? That you could have an international business from your home and that you just had a friend that owned a salon someplace else in our country or internationally,
Mhm.
and they decide and you introduce them to us, so we'll share on your behalf because we benefit. It's all a shared revenue model, is what it is.
Yes,
The industry has evolved, it's grown up. It's nothing like the MLM of your mother's MLM back in the day. It's nothing like that. This has been streamlined, modernized, professionalized for the
a
20.
company doesn't do it, close to 1 billion annually with crappy products.
9
and
billion since inception, yeah.
and this company has just yes, this company has continued to reinvent itself from the standpoint of
Yeah,
science, new studies. We are always on the cutting edge of the product that people gravitate to.
it's
And I'm excited for what's going to happen in the
the
next
part
few
I
months.
love the most is that you can stand by these products without any
Absolutely.
concern whatsoever, the
Yep.
efficacy behind them, the 21 years of us being, when you think of us, we launched our company as a nutrition company, and we were doing intermittent fasting and protein pacing 21 years ago.
Right.
And now it's the big buzz of the world, and then they just put our company, our product line, our nutrition line up against, they did the heart healthy diet about 15 years ago, and we came out on top with that being better, more convenient, more result driven. Okay. But then they just put it up against the Mediterranean diet,
Mhm,
and it came out better, more convenient,
mhm.
and having more visceral fat loss, which is the unhealthy fat around the organs of the body. And they just published it as
Yes.
well, peer
And
reviewed.
the long term. It's not just a,
Yes. And I
rebound
love
and weight
Mediterranean
loss.
diet, so that's my diet I go to, but this is my
Mhm.
easy, convenient way to stay
Yep.
on track.
And it's all food. It's naturally sourced
Of course.
food. So, Susan, I love this.
Yeah,
Because of recurring income, I built my first company 7 years. I was able to be home raising my 2 kids for 20 years.
same.
And
We have
I just
very similar stories.
yes, very
We
similar.
became
And
a
Susan
millionaire
kept
in that
calling
company,
me during
and I left.
COVID.
Yeah, I
Get
raised my
out of
kids as a stay-at-home
yep.
mom, and I
Mhm.
came back in with this company, and it has literally changed the trajectory of our families
Yep,
for generations to come.
yep.
You were second generation wealth where your father was able
Mhm,
to create a
mhm.
recurring. I'm first generation wealth. Nobody in
It's
my family
exciting.
has created the wealth that we've been able to create here that
Yep,
is changing the course of my children's life, being able to
yep.
pay off their college debt, not leave them with debt,
Mhm.
and give them an opportunity to go out into the world. Both my children, my daughter actually was the global leader of the year with our company last year at 30
She's
years old.
phenomenal.
My 24-year-old son is involved in recurring and residual income with TikTok. So legitimately, social media is changed the world. We all know
Yep,
that.
yep,
And my family, we work for recurring income.
yep,
That is our mindset.
yep.
Even though I love the salon industry, we'll always champion it. I do believe if given the opportunity, every single person should build that financial wall with recurring income.
And this is all collaboration, it's not competition, so you can
No,
remove that, paradigm from your head because you will get paid more money with this company by collaborating with other salons, with other stylists. You're not competing because if they win, you win.
and at the
I
end,
know
I'll
that.
leave you with this. The relationship between us and you would be something like this. You have all these people we don't know, and we have the expertise in this specific area. So what we do is we partner. You queue up, we show you how, and we support your growth.
Yep,
That's what we do.
absolutely. Yeah, it's not just, you know, sign them up and let them go. No, we nurture, we
And
train, we
we win
mentor,
trips, and it's a lot of fun.
and
I
you're
can
friends for life. We've been friends for over 30 years, and this is who I want to be around.
yes,
Positive women who are up to something big, want to leave a footprint for themselves and or their family, and they have a passion for service, but they want to get paid their worth.
that's right.
Susan, I so appreciate your time. And anybody that is interested in a call or a Zoom, Susan and I are available. Go to my website, which is on the bottom. It's been scrolling, JeanetteLowry.com. Book a free call. We'll get Susan on a Zoom, whatever it takes, showing you how the
It's a
money
pleasure.
is made. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we will resume a new
Yes.
call next week or the week after.
Have a wonderful
Yep.
day, everyone.
Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome,
Bye-bye.
honey. Take care.